we're on the subject, I'll take this opportunity to make everything perfectly clear. For the class trial, you guys only need to identify the one true villain who devised and carried out the plan for murder. Yeah, I'm still pointing at Celeste. I really am. The one true villain? Well, I think I've explained enough for you. From here on, it's just you guys and the villain. Butting heads. May the best bear win. There's only one villain. An accomplice has nothing to gain, which means Kirigiri being involved really is out of the question. Most likely. I'm glad for that, but still, where did she run off to? If she has no involvement in the murders, then it's not the matter. It matters not, I mean. We must focus on our investigation. Investigation, yes. While we already know Hagakure killed them, I suppose a quick investigation wouldn't do us any harm. Shouldn't we consider that the homicidal maniac might be a suspect too, just throwing that out there? Genocide or show? What? What? What have I ever done to you? Ah! When did you... You weren't there when I woke up, so I've been looking all over for you, white nuts. I'm Togami nuts. Anyway, you over there, Little Miss Godzilla Knockers. Huh? Godzilla Knockers? Why am I a suspect? You're a homicidal maniac. Need I say more? Is that all it takes to become a regular on a suspect list? But I got an alibi. She's right. She does have an alibi. She was with the rest of us when Yamada screamed. Plus, when the two corpses were stolen, she was still unconscious in the physics lab. While I'll give you Ishimaru's corpse, she couldn't have transported Yamada's from the infirmary. I don't look it, but I actually put a lot of thought into my craft. You guys know how I roll. I've been laid bare for all to see, so killing's out of the question for me. That's not something to be proud of. Actually, it kind of is, because she's actually able to, you know, get away with them. Especially since she has did, which helps in the long run, really. In any case, what about securing the scene? I'm worried about the bodies being taken again. Asahina and I will handle that. Is that alright, Asahina? Yeah. I'm not going to be much help with the investigation anyway. And that's it. And we can finally get started. Something about this case feels kind of odd. Everyone has an alibi, which means the number of possible suspects is limited. On the other hand, maybe it's just me overthinking things, but something tells me it's not quite that simple. And I think that too. I think that too, indeed. Loaded. Monokuma file into your lecture ID. You can find it in the ammunition menu. Okay, let's see. Why is the hammers missing? Yeah, that's another strange thing. There's a wide array of hammers hanging there, from small to large, but several are missing. Missing? What if these hammers were just used as a base to create those justice hammers? It's a possibility. And why were they painted? And you have to assume why they knew it would be a certain kind of anime-ish style. I wonder who would have made them. Yamada! And who was particularly fond of being in the frickin' art room, right? Exactly. It could have been Yamada who had made the hammers. For who have used them, it's either Yamada, either Ishimaru, or maybe Celeste herself, or maybe Hagakure, or maybe Kirigiri. But I highly doubt Kirigiri would be dumb enough to make, you know, make the murder scene this simple to figure it out. But you know what I mean. Like, it would be too easy to find these bodies and investigate who did what and such things. But still, the person has to have fairly high strength in this certain battle of using these weapons. So, I'm assuming that Yamada, if he did murder someone, he ended up using number 4, because it was pretty big, and I highly doubt Celeste would be able to carry something like that. Number 3. That's more fitting to, probably, the ability of Celeste carrying a weapon. But, you never know. Number 1, can easily be placed into her pocket and then, you know, put it aside afterwards so she can, you know, fake it. And number two, Yamada could have moved that himself and put that there so he would be less, you know, suspicious to being murdered. And the blood that was on him could have been that of, what's his face? Ishimaru. He could have used his blood to fake the freaking death of himself, or the injury of himself. Because, yeah, it's kind of weird. But who knows? Who knows, indeed. Either way, these hammers look like they've seen a whole lot of use. They're all sprinkled with some stone fragments and powdered rock. This hammer appears to be wet, and it's the only one that's not dirty. Does that mean someone washed it? Loaded washed hammer into your Electro ID. Okay, what else can I examine? The trolley could be of use as well to move these bodies. It's a trolley without a handle. I've seen trolleys like this in the art room before. It's for teleporting. It's for transporting sculptures and stuff, right? It looks a little convenient, but if you bend over and crouch down a bit, it's definitely usable. This trolley... Isn't this the same one that was in the physics prep room when Ishimaru's corpse was discovered? Plus, look at this. There's blood on the tires. A trolley with blood on the tires moved from the physics prep room to the art storage room. What does it all mean? Loaded storage room. Trolley. Into your Electro ID. Yeah, shit is getting real. Okay, so the trolley was in the other room. I thought it was in this room. Guess it was in the physics room from before. Weird. Shit is getting too real. It really is. I'm getting a little bit confused myself. So let's see, what else can we examine? Let's talk to Togami and everyone else before I examine more. Hey Togami, do you think Hagakure really is the culprit? I can't think of anyone else who could be. Everyone else has an alibi for the murders and the disappearance of the corpse. And then Yamada's dying words. Yasuhiro, right? Not just that, he tried to say ak or something too. It also points to Yasuhiro, Hagakure. Even if Hagakure did do it, why would he try to hide himself by wearing the bizarre costume? I'm sure he just thought that as long as he hid his figure, he wouldn't be found out. He's a degenerate and a fool. Well, Hagakure is kind of a doof. But can you really just pack everything up in a little box labeled doofus and call it a day? I feel like there's a big hidden hint there somewhere. Is that everything? Nothing else stands out to you? No. There's more than I can't figure. Like, why the culprit hid the bodies? Maybe he thought, if we can find the corpses, that we can hold an investigation. And yet, despite that, he had almost no trouble finding them. That too. Could only be because the culprit's an imbecile. Is that really good enough? There's one more thing that struck out to me. Why did the culprit commit 2 murders? What? I mean, according to the rules, if you commit murder without getting caught, you graduate. In which case, I think the culprit would first and foremost want to ensure no one else found out. So I have a theory that, let's see, Celeste walked in on Yamada killing Ishimaru and then said to go off and do this certain thing because from past experience and such things, it seemed like Yamada tended to go follow the rules of Celeste, so they could have planned this a long time ago. Or, yeah. And another thing that I may think, it's about alter ego. I think the only person that could probably make Yamada go off and kill Ishimaru would be the person who had alter ego, the one true love that has possibly really wanted to have and be with. So she could have been keeping that keeping that captive and use that to go lure Yamada to go kill Ishimaru. Then afterwards, when the whole thing transpires, it wouldn't go off to Celeste being the true villain and causing murder, right? Right. So that means shit is getting real. But this is all theory. It could be downright wrong. It could be someone else that be doing that or something like that. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird. In which case, I think the culprit would, first and foremost, want to ensure no one else found out. By committing 2 murders, you leave that much more evidence behind. Wait, perhaps I see. So that's what this is. What are you talking about? We are not friends, and don't you forget it. What? Where's this coming from? You have my gratitude. Thanks to you, it looks like I'll be able to squeeze a little fun out of this game. Oh dear God, no. And with that, Togami left the storage room. It sounded like he figured something out. Would have been nice if he told me too. Well, that's why he said we're not friends. That's what he said. Oh. But Asahina. Hey Nagi, actually, something's been bugging me about the storage room. What about it? You know, after Yamada and Ishimaru's body disappeared, we all split up to go look. I was scared, so I went along with Sakura. After everyone split up, we went straight to this art room to look. But at that time, the storage door room was locked, and we couldn't get in. The door was locked? We came straight here when the search started. So there's no way anyone got here before us. But then, who locked the door, you know? Plus, it's open now, so you're right. That's perplexing. The door was locked just after we started searching for the bodies. And now it's unlocked. There's gotta be something to that. Maybe I can figure out something once I get out of this room. Well, the only person that notified us of the freaking thing being open is Celeste, and she's the one that's been initiating everything lately. She usually keeps a low profile in these situations. She was trying to avoid that one cause in the second part of, or the investigation part. Yeah, the second part of the investigation where Nagi went to go off and try to find the murder of Chihiro Fujisaki. My baby. But yeah, it's strange. She's a little bit more different in this situation. She's making it too obvious. Unless it's not her and she's trying to, end up killing. Another thing that I wanted to point out, and I have so many insightful theories, is that she's kind of breaking down. Like, she broke too quickly. Like, she needs to get out of this area really quickly. Because in Chapter 1, she was okay. Chapter 2, she was already, breaking down into, she's breaking out of her shell that she uses, her facade, when gambling. She's a little bit more mean and more noticeable. So it's weird, because I believe after probably multiple deaths happening, I think it causes a person to break down, and she's hit that point and needed to murder someone. And that person being Yamada. Yeah. And this is a really good one. This one is just filled with so many things I can talk about. I'm actually kind of glad. A number of things occurred during this incident. No, perhaps better to say, a great deal of things. There is value in revisiting past events. You might recall something you overlooked. Shall I help you go over it once more? Yes. That's not a bad idea. Alright. Let's go back over what happened. This morning, only Asahina, Kirigiri, you, and I assembled in the cafeteria. For as long as we waited, no one else came. Thus, we decided to search for the other students. We began searching around 8 a.m. Immediately after we split up, Kirigiri went missing. Finding Celeste in the 3rd floor recreation room, Asahina quickly reconvened with you and I. Celeste said she was attacked by a madman and lost consciousness for an hour, which means she was attacked. About an hour before we found her. Putting that a little later after 7 a.m. Hey, what if the madman knocked out Carrier? That's a possibility. Oh, that is actually a possibility. Holy shit. I didn't think about that.